guys. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I am Tracy.
And I am Jim, and we are both Nelson,
And that's right. We're both
not
Nelson.
brother and sister.
No, that would be
That'd be
weird.
weird. Married.
Yeah.
And we have a new podcast,
What's that podcast called, Jim?
Ready to Sell.
Yeah.
And so on this podcast, we're going to be talking every week about all the things we're discovering and others who are bringing us this information we're hoping will join us on this podcast.
Right.
But really, it's about, well, I mean, now's the time in the market when it starts to get a little bit more, sellers need to be a little bit more on top of it.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's changing like it always does, right? But most recently, it's changing pretty rapidly.
So it's almost up to 6% now. It's 5.88 today. Is that
As of
right?
today, I believe. Yeah.
And so when the market starts to shift like that, it means the sellers need to be ready to sell. So that's what we're here for. We're getting real about getting ready.
And that's right. So we're going to be talking about a number of different, from staging to
Different local
different local
merchants, because
merchants,
Salt Lake's all about keeping it local.
right? And just, about the agent's worth, right?
Yeah, this week we're going to be talking about what good is an agent. So if anything, right? I'm being a little devil's advocate, which you'll see throughout.
Right.
But yeah, we'll talk about that. So first, we need to talk about how to stage your home. It's kind of why we're here. So one of the things we need to get on the podcast on a weekly basis is just little tips and just little things. And so maybe we need to introduce ourselves.
I was going to say, why would anybody care what we have to say?
Such a good
that's
question. So Tracy, tell them a little bit about you.
Okay, let's talk about me. The thing I actually don't like to do that much. But so
Laugh. I did not laugh at
shut
that.
up. So I come from a staging background, and in that I come from a director's point of view, and we have bought and sold a number of homes. Yeah, 7.
We thought it was 6. We thought it was 8. We're deciding on 7. That's
Yeah.
our story. We're
Yeah.
sticking to it.
Yeah. And in all of that, I have staged them all, and I kept having people ask, "Who's staging? Who staged your house? It looks so great." Da, da, da. And from that point, I started staging for friends. And then I started my own little staging company right before the pandemic. And that was super fun. It was a lot
As
of
it was
work.
for everyone, I'm
Right.
sure.
Right. And it was a lot of work. And just being myself, it was a little much for me to do it all. And Jim doing his own thing, job wise.
Yeah, we'll talk
So,
about me in a second. And then we
blah,
got
blah,
real
blah.
estate, right?
Yeah. And so then I got into real estate thanks to Camilla, who is another fantastic realtor.
Yeah, by the way, Camilla, we've decided it's your fault. I hope that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just how it is.
Because she just said, "Hey, you should be a realtor too." Anyway, and so here we are. So Jim, by all means, please tell us a little bit
Sure.
about you.
So that's a little bit about Tracy. So we're really taking that staging experience and we're students of the stage
We are students of the stage,
in 2 ways. We're founders of a community theater here in Mill Creek, Utah,
right?
which is where we're at if you don't know. And we also work very hard to make sure that the houses we present are staged as well as possible, not just from our perspective, becoming students of real estate.
Right.
Me, so I come from a consultative background. So I've consulted in a lot of different things, mostly sales enablement. Also, I work for banks throughout, so I have a strong financial background.
So are you a banker?
No, never say that again. Not a banker. No, I like bankers. I tend to be the unbanker,
That's true.
but that's where I come from. And then we also spent a couple of years doing private consulting. So that mixed in a lot of different things. But between that consultative drive to get what the client or the customer wants and Tracy's staging expertise, we thought right now in the market, it might be a good time to put this stuff out there.
Right. So that everybody can use it, right?
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. And who we're doing it with is really, really important.
It's so important.
You want to tell them about it?
I do. So we are part of the Shanna Day team, and Shanna Day team is powered by Place. What that means basically is that we're awesome. And thanks to Shanna Day and the whole team, we are able to really be our best selves and
So what happens there?
market our customers and our clients
Right.
to the ultimate.
Yes. And so the Shannon Day team is in Phoenix, Arizona and
But we're
Utah,
not in Phoenix
and we're in
or
Utah.
Mesa. It's actually
So
Mesa.
it's
Mesa,
Mesa,
Arizona.
but I think,
Yeah,
anybody
right.
in Arizona, if you want to be able to sell a house, let's talk to Shanna first.
Right.
Even if you're, someplace else, she might be able to give you a good reference. Uh, but we're in Utah. And so we're opening up this particular portion of Shanna's team. But I got to tell you, and all the things we've done and all the things we've seen and in all our own private selling and being in real estate, I honestly have never seen a system and a team as put together as this team. And so we're really, really honored and very grateful to be on the team with Shanna. And so we wanted to throw that out there. Definitely make sure we have that on record.
And also, we are Keller Williams Realtors. So that's
Yes.
also
Yes.
number one.
Which is something that comes up.
Kind of
Like
the
there's Keller
umbrella of
Williams,
us.
and then there's Shanna Day team, and then there's us as realtors.
And
So,
then we're powered by Place
Yeah.
also on top of that. So
yeah. So think of it
there's a
like
number of layers.
Keller Williams is like the army. And then think of Shanna Day as like the special forces. And
And think of powered by Place as the drill sergeant.
I like it. It's so much friendlier.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what we're doing here. That's who we're doing it with. But we really wanted to talk a little bit more about staging. So let's talk about one of the first steps of staging. What is, in your opinion, professional stager, the first thing you do when you're looking to sell your house?
Get a realtor.
That comes later.
You're welcome.
Why get a realtor?
You're welcome. So, you start to have to get rid of all your junk and all your excess stuff. And I think it's really important to start to look at your house from outside in and to take the front of it, because that's your first impression. That's
So start with the front yard. Start with the
every
curb appeal,
buyer's first impression,
driving up to the front of the
right up
house.
the front. Yeah. And if they want to walk through that door, really.
Right.
So I really think the front and the porch itself are super important, if not just as important as how the house is staged. Thank you. You're welcome.
And how you look at staging, and I always found this interesting, is that your design and your personalization of a house is not at all what staging a house is, right?
Right. So decorating your house for you and your family is not what staging is. Staging is depersonalizing, basically, is taking you out of the house so that others can start to envision themselves in that space and in that house.
I think no matter how many times you hear it, even if it's you and you know it really well, it's still very difficult. It's still difficult to go, that's my style, I know, but really operating by a set of rules here to get it so anybody can see themselves in that space.
Right. Right.
So start in the front, get the curb appeal up and running, and we can talk more deeply about that. By the way, if you want to send us email, we are the Nelsons at shanaday.com. You can go to our website, callthenelsons.com. So we'd love to hear from you. And if you have any particular questions, this is a really good place to ask them.
Excellent.
So please do send them in. Okay, so let's move on to local businesses.
All right, let's.
So Tracy has a really interesting, can I brag about you a little bit? Just a little bit,
Sure.
tiny as a bit. So Tracy had this great idea because we're in Utah and it's somewhat of a conservative state where some things close down on Sunday. Not as much as some places, but more than many. And so we wanted to go around. Really, Tracy wanted to find these places that were open on Sunday, different coffee shops or points of interest where, people didn't know to go. So that's one of the things we hope to bring to the podcast too, is local merchants. And we want to bring them on actually the podcast and talk to them, and they'll be our guests in the future.
Right. Exactly. So there you go.
Yeah. So
You
look
said
forward
it
to
all.
that. So that's my bragging of you. Okay. What's next?
What is next? We have,
Why hire a realtor?
that's a really great question. Why hire a realtor? Yeah. I mean, because can't you just basically put a sign in the front yard and
Are we talking?
sell it now? I mean, we have to live in the present, Jim. So
People have been telling me that for years.
it's fun. to live with Jeff.
Most of those people being Tracy. Yeah, why hire a realtor? I mean, it's so funny as you get into like this is a really good example. We've been selling our own real estate over many, many years, right? Buying and selling real estate. And we've always used a realtor. But even we know a little bit about it before we came into it. Then once you learn about it, you realize there's so much. There's 180 points or steps to preparing to sell and getting your home on the market and selling it. And it's stressful enough, right?
Right.
So you tell me your thoughts about hiring, or why would you want to hire a realtor if you were just a non-realtor?
Because there's so much more to it than just preparing your house. There's marketing, there is the contract negotiation. There's actually just verifying that they are potential buyers or that they are reliable and
Pre-qualified,
right,
right?
that they actually have the funds to actually move forward on that sale. So there's all these steps that a professional real estate agent um, is there to help you with that you have no idea what
And
really it
goes on.
takes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Sorry.
Like Tracy, this is a really good point again. Tracy was on the phone today for hours trying to find painters and photographers and what else? That's pretty much it,
That's
right?
kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Painters and photographers for a client who needs to put their house up for sale pretty quick, right?
Right.
They've got things in motion, and so we want to make sure we get them where they want to be in time for what they want.
And presenting the best picture possible.
Yes. And so there's just so much of that time and so much of that effort, and that rolls right into the marketing of a house, right? And how you market it, even if you're outside of a fantastic organization such as Place, but just a part of a regular brokerage, how you market it is very disciplined, and there are a lot of different things you can do.
And a lot of different steps to take to do those things.
Right. And all of that is done by professionals. So if you don't know what you're doing, then that becomes very difficult. And even if you do it, here's what I found. Even if you do it, it's insanely stressful.
It is insanely stressful, but you also want to be able to get what it comes down to really is to get the top dollar. You want to
Yeah.
get,
Yeah.
the top amount of money that you possibly can.
Like your home's an asset. Think of
It
it as like
is.
an asset.
Well, it is an asset, right?
So
An
think of it
investment.
that way,
So
right?
there
Yeah,
we go.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you have this asset, you want to sell it for as much as you can,
Right. It's
right?
your investment. That's what real estate is. It's an investment.
And on the opposite side, when you're buying a piece of property or an investment, you want to be able to get
You want to be able to negotiate so you can get the best
the
deal.
best deal. So
Right.
realtors you tend to find they work very well together because they all kind of know each other, and a lot of times, and they know this professional code of ethics,
Etiquette.
right?
Right.
And and if you don't have a realtor on the other side does, it's not a place you want to be.
No.
So those are the three topics for today. I think we're good.
I think we've kind of discussed what an agent's worth
I
is.
think so.
I
We haven't
think-
even talked about. Never mind. We'll leave that cliffhanger for next
And I
time.
think we have also kind of opened up the door to what staging is all about and why it's important. And so those are other things that we will continue to discuss as we continue to podcast.
Yes. So check back next week when we talk about many more things.
What will we be talking about next week?
I would like to see if we could have maybe a conversation around what happens when you go through the front door.
like it.
Yeah. See.
I like it.
See
I
if
also
can
want-
add that.
I like it. I also want to open up the thought of what I consider the 7 deadly staging sins.
Sins. Ooh.
And I'm sure there's more, but I have
these are
found
Tracy's
my
7
own
deadly
that is
staging
deadly
Sins.
sin
I'm not sure I know
for
all of them
staging.
either.
No, you
Let's see,
probably
you can
don't.
quiz me. I'll fail the
Oh,
quiz.
that's such a
That'll
good
be fun.
idea.
We'll do that. All right. Hey, until next time, thanks so much. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, Anchor. We're going to be on YouTube, hopefully your YouTube, Facebook as well. So we're just trying to get our message out there. We really want to help
Oh, we're going international too. I think
eventually.
we will. Well, definitely.
We
we're
already
gonna
have a call from
conquer the
we
world.
already have a call from Telemundo.
Australia,
On a counter eggs
Sweden.
soon.
um,
But no, check us out. We're really trying to anything you could do to like us or give us stars or recommendations or reviews. That would be great. We're just brand new. We're trying to build up.
and we're super fun.
We think we are. You be the judge. But we're trying to get our word out there because it really does help the sellers. It really does help people get their places ready to sell. And that's something that maybe we've forgotten a little bit over the last couple of years.
Yeah, we really, as a realtor, you really want to serve your client to the best of your ability. And it's our heart and soul that we put into our jobs. And so that's what we're all about. With that, I just want a little plug about Local First. And being that we are our own entities and businesses.
Can they not be local? I
Yeah.
guess they could
Yeah,
not be
sure,
local. I haven't
sure, I
met any.
guess I can.
Yeah.
But I just one last little thing is that something that's dear to our heart is the theater, and we wanted just to mention Pioneer Theater Company. I know they are a professional company, but they are our local professional company.
And who's in the show? You won't believe it.
Oh, that's right.
You won't believe who's in the show.
Okay, we'll end with this. Paige Davis.
And you don't even know who Paige Davis is.
Yes, you do.
Well,
And she's
if you're
starring
our
in
age,
Hello Dolly
you're
here
our
in
age, you
Salt
do.
Lake.
But she's starring Hello Dolly at PTC,
Right.
Pioneer Theater.
Yeah.
What is it? PTC, Pioneer Theater
PTC, Pioneer Theater
Company. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But Paige was great. She started in Trading Places, one of the very first shows that had people redecorating each other's homes, right?
Right.
They'd go over and they'd screw up each other's houses, and it was great fun.
Right.
Great fun.
So on that note,
Are you saying stop? You're saying
yeah,
stop.
I
aren't you?
am.
Yeah,
I
you're
am.
saying stop. All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in, all three of you.
You guys are awesome.
And
really.
we will see you soon.